Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Dooley Health and Care Field for today's double-header matchup between the St. Francis Saints and the Judson Eagles. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Aaron Shellen, and these two teams will play games 2 and 3 of their three-game series here this afternoon. Yesterday, it was a 3-2 Judson winner. They walked it off in the bottom of the ninth on a wild pitch by Quinn McGuire, allowing the winning run to score and giving Judson their fourth CCAC victory of the season, while dropping the Fighting Saints to 10-23 on the year, 5-7 in the CCAC. And before we take a look at today's starting lineup for Judson, let's take a quick look at today's starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints, and that is Sam Pileggi. Sam on the season, 0-1 on the year, an ERA of 4.88. He's making his eighth appearance of the year. All starts, 27 2/3 innings for the right-hander, 28 hits allowed. He's walked 16, struck out 29. Opponents are batting .250 against the 5'9", 175-pound junior out of Plainfield, Illinois, Sam Pileggi. And let's take a look at the lineup that he will face today for the 7-19 Judson Hawks. Batting leadoff and playing left field will be Benjamin Nelson. Batting second, playing third base, Giovanni Davila. Batting third, playing first, Timothy Ellinger. Batting cleanup and doing the catching, Alex Spang. Batting fifth and playing left field, Jordan Babcock, who hit a solo home run yesterday. Batting sixth and playing right field, Adam Zaratsky. Batting seventh and playing second base, Josh Goliberzuk. Batting eighth and the designated hitter today, Mitchell Stempowski. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Adam McLennan, against Sam Pileggi. And we are ready to go. First pitch at 1:03 in the PM, 60 degrees and sunny. That first pitch over for a strike, 0-1 from Pileggi. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day here in Joliet. Not a single cloud in the sky. The 0-1 pitch popped up back. Jake Murda comes back on it right up against the fence, but it lands on the stand side. So 0-2 now is the count on Benjamin Nelson. Nelson on the season, a .247 hitter, a couple home runs, 6 runs knocked in out of the leadoff spot, playing left field today. Laces that one over by the Judson dugout. Slow reaction time by, I believe, either one of the backup catchers or bullpen catcher down there. He had his back to the field, and the ball came whipping in at him. So here comes the 0-2 again from Pileggi to Nelson. Swung on and missed. Strike three. First batter, first strikeout of the game for Pileggi. And again, Sam does strike a batter out. That is strikeout number 30 in 28 innings for Pileggi. Up now the third baseman, Giovanni Davila. Davila comes in at .225, 1 home run, 6 runs knocked in. This is not a overly impressive Judson offense, hitting only .235 as a team on the season. Only 9 home runs in their 26 games. Davila yesterday 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in that 3-2 Eagles victory. We'll give you the St. Francis defense here after this 0-1 pitch from Pileggi to Davila. Fouled straight back, 0-2. On the infield, third to first for the Fighting Saints today, Hector Carrillo over at third, Brian Hidalgo at short, John McGuire at second, Nate Maliska gets the start at first base. Outfield left to right, Jake Vera out in left, Luke Ketchum in center, Gio Pappas out in right field, and Jake Murda behind the dish here catching Sam Pileggi this afternoon. Pitch just misses that outer edge, 1-2. Sam coming right after him there on that 0-2 pitch, not wasting a pitch, trying to get him to pitch, trying to get him to chase. Went right at that corner. 1-2 now on Davila. Swung on and missed through the high fastball by him. 2 up, 2 down here in the first. Couple of strikeouts for Pileggi. Impressive start for Sam. Now he'll face the first baseman today, Timothy Ellinger. Ellinger at 281 on the season, 10 runs knocked in, but an on-base machine, 20 bases on balls in 23 games against only 6 walks, has a .462 on-base percentage. He swings at the first pitch, fouls it straight back, so Sam's been getting ahead here in the early going. Getting ahead of Nelson, putting him down, getting ahead of Davila, striking him out, and now he's ahead of Ellinger, 0-1. That's a strike as well on the outer half, 0-2. Absolutely gorgeous day here at Dooley Health and Care Field. Wind blowing out towards left and left center field. But a picture-perfect day for baseball. Temperature will be in the low 60s most of the day today. 1-2 now. If Ellinger reaches, Alex Spang, the catcher, would hit. Here comes the 1-2. In the dirt, blocked by Murda. Big hole up the middle. Brian Hidalgo shaded a little bit towards third. Second baseman John McGuire a step or two back on the grass. Pitch popped up down the left side, slicing foul over onto, I believe that's called the berm, down over there down the left field line. So we'll do the 2-2 pitch here again. We're just underway, top of the first inning. Sam Pileggi, a couple of strikeouts here. 2 batters up, 2 strikeouts. The 2-2 from Pileggi to Ellinger. Ground ball up the middle. Hidalgo scoops, fires, throws, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Sam Pileggi. We are through half an inning of play. Judson, nothing. St. Francis coming up. Bottom of the first inning here at Dooley Health and Care Field. Judson went down quietly in the top of the first. Sam Pileggi, a couple of strikeouts. And now it is St. Francis's turn to take their cuts at the big righty Matthew Johnston for Judson. And Johnston has been Judson's best pitcher this season. He's making his 10th appearance of the season, his 5th start. He's 1-2 with an ERA of 3. Only 20 hits allowed in 27 innings. He also has 2 saves and a complete game. You don't see that very often, a pitcher with both a complete game and a couple of saves, but 1-2 with an ERA of 3.20, hits in 27 innings, 34 strikeouts for the big right. He does have some control issues. He's walked 15, he's hit 7. Opponents are batting just .213 against Johnston. 6'2", 200-pound righty out of Des Plaines. And he will face Hector Carrillo. He's facing Hector Carrillo here, leading off the bottom of the first inning, and Carrillo is up in the count 3-0. Your starting lineup for St. Francis here in game number 1. Hector Carrillo batting leadoff, playing third base. Jake Vera in the number 2 spot out in left. John McGuire will bat third and play second. That pitch in there for a strike, 3-1. Luke Ketchum bats cleanup, plays center field. Brian Hidalgo will be at shortstop, batting 5th. Gio Pappas out in right field, bats 6th. Nate Maliska bats 7th at first base. Jake Lasota is your designated hitter today, batting 8th. And Jake Merida will bat 9th and catch against Matthew Johnston, who has worked this count now full to Hector Carrillo. It is 3-2. Hector on the season, 219, 9 runs knocked in, and he does draw that leadoff walk. So the leadoff batter on here for St. Francis in the top of the first inning. Nice to see him get out early today after a quiet offensive performance yesterday where they only mustered 2 runs and 6 hits. One of those hits belongs to the man at the plate, Jake Vera. Jake at 265 on the year, 1 home run, 11 knocked in for the left fielder today. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Hector's 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts on the season. So picking his spots, but been effective when he's chosen to go. That middle infield at double play depth. Vera squares to bunt, pulls it back again. Swings and misses there as the third baseman, Giovanni Davila, came running in from third base. That's got to be scary as a third baseman. You're running in to field the bunt. The batter pulls the bat back and takes a swing. 1-1 now on Vera. Throw over to first. Hector back in safely. Carrillo, Vera, McGuire, Ketchum, Hidalgo, Pappas, Maliska, Lasota, Merida for St. Francis here in game number 1. Squares to bunt, drops it down. The pitch is inside. Throw into second, and Carrillo is out as Johnston sort of double clutched that throw a little bit, but still was able to get it over to second base on the 1-6 put out. Down to first goes Jake Vera on the fielder's choice. So the batter and the runner switch spots, one away here in the first inning, and John McGuire steps in. John at 309 on the year, 1 home run, 16 knocked in, sporting an on-base percentage close to .420 on the year. Has 14 walks against only 15 strikeouts, so handles the bat really nicely. Takes that pitch downstairs, 1-0. Jake is a threat to run, leads the team in stolen bases, in fact, 8 for 9 on the season. And there he goes. Throw down to second, 1 hopper. Jake's in safely, picks up his 9th stolen base of the year. That didn't take long. He was off on pitch number 2, which was also downstairs. So it's 2-0 now on John McGuire. Vera now down at second with 1 out here in inning number 1. John, the junior from New Lenox, went to Lincoln Way Central. Shortstop now, Alec McLennan, right behind Jake Vera at second, trying to keep him close to that bag. 2-0, misses away, 3-0. As I mentioned, the Johnson does have some control problems. 15 bases on balls in 27 games. Not terrible, but he has hit 7 batters as well. St. Francis trying to take advantage. They called that pitch a strike. It looked like it was outside. 2-1 now on McGuire. There's a strike as well, 2-2. So a couple pitches on that outer edge to the right-handed hitting John McGuire. Luke Ketchum stands in the on-deck circle as St. Francis looking to pick up Jake Farah down at second base here in the bottom of the first. 2-2. Ground ball to the right side. That'll get the runner over to third. It's bobbled and dropped by the second baseman, and McGuire will reach on the E4. So that was a casual ground ball to the second baseman for Judson. That's Josh Goliberzuk, and he just dropped it, just bobbled it, just dropped it. And St. Francis threatens now. Runners at the corners with one out, and their best hitter this year, Luke Ketchum, stepping in. Luke at .349 on the season, 4 home runs, 15 runs knocked in. Eric Maffey not in the starting lineup here in Game 1. Luke swings at the first pitch, fouls it off to the right, out of play, 0-1. Luke sporting a .616 slugging percentage on the season to go along with his 4 home runs, as 9 doubles and a triple. Hoping to pick up Vera here at third, and they want to balk. And looked pretty balkish to me, but not going to be called there, as Brian Mahalik kind of had his hands out at his sides down there at third base, saying, what was that? It was an interesting fake attempt over to first by Johnston. Vera at third, McGuire at first. John 4 for 5 in stolen bases this season. We'll see if he takes off. Luke swings and misses at the high fastball, 0-2. This might be a good opportunity to send McGuire on a 2-strike count to Luke Ketchum. See what St. Francis chooses to do here. They have a runner at third, Jake Vera, runner at first, John McGuire, 0-2 on Luke. There goes McGuire. He'll take second without a throw, picking up his 5th stolen base of the season. So a base hit now for St. Francis could plate a couple. They have good speed in scoring position. Jake Vera at third, John McGuire at second. 1-2 now on Ketchum. Off-speed pitch, got him. Big strikeout there for Johnston. He is, as I mentioned, he is a strikeout pitcher. That's now 35 strikeouts in 27 2/3 innings, and that'll bring up Brian Hidalgo. St. Francis now looking for that 2-out clutch hit from Hidalgo. Brian, .296 on the year, 1 home run. Second on the team in RBIs with 19. He had a 5 RBI game a couple weeks ago here in St. Francis's home opener, actually. He was 2 for 4 yesterday with a run scored. Looking for that base hit to get both runners in. He's got Vera at third, McGuire at second. First pitch swinging, pops it up to the right side. Goliberzuk is there. He squeezes it, and that retires the side. So St. Francis threatens but does not score. They strand runners at second and third. We go to the second. No score. We're back here in the top of the second inning. No score. St. Francis threatened in the bottom of the first. Put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, and they were not able to get anything done. So we go to the second scoreless. Judson will bring up Alec Spang, Jordan Babcock, and Adam Zaratsky here to face Sam Pileggi, who was really good in that first inning of work. Struck out a pair. Induced a ground ball by Ellinger. Now he'll face Spang, the catcher. 250, 10 runs knocked in. Very open stance for Spang. Fouls that pitch off to the right. 0-2. So 4 batters, and he's Pileggi's been getting ahead of everybody here so far in the early going. The 0-2. Hit high in the air out to right field. Gio Pappas takes a couple steps over towards the right field line. One hands it, one out here in the second inning. That's 4 straight retired by Pileggi. Here as we get this thing started, Jordan Babcock now, the left fielder, stepping in. Babcock at 212 on the season. Yesterday he went 2 for 4, though, including his first home run of the season here at Dooley Health and Care Field. And pretty short down that right field line, only 327, so it doesn't take much to get it up and over that right field wall. 348 down the left field line, and even 400 out to center. The wind is blowing out towards left here, however, so you get one up into that breeze. You got to hit it pretty hard to get it out to right field here in game 1. Count is 1-1 here on Babcock. On the outer edge, and Sam's been living on that edge, that outer edge so far here through an inning and a third, and so far it's worked him well. Babcock, I think something in his eye. Gets time, checks back in. St. Francis comes into action today 10-23, 5-7 in the CCAC. It's 5.5 games out behind Trinity Christian, who's 11-2. Olivet Nazarene 9-4, St. Ambrose 7-4, St. Xavier 5-7. Those are your top 4 in the CCAC so far this year. St. Francis 5-7, 5.5 games out. Hit in the air to right field, hooking. That lands foul over in the St. Francis bullpen. Count will stay 1-2. Judson on the other side, 7-19 on the year, 4-9 in the CCAC. 7 games out of first place. St. Francis 4-11 at home this year. Judson only 1-9. Yesterday was their first road victory of the season. 1-2 now. Hit out to left field over for it is Jake Vera, a couple steps back. It looked like he had a little bit of problem with the sun out there, but he was able to squeeze it 2 up, 2 down here in the second inning. Both teams scuffling a bit. St. Francis 2-8 in their last 10. Judson 3-7 in their last 10. St. Francis with a doubleheader sweep today can even their CCAC mark at 7-7 on the year. Long way to go before we get there, though. Adam Zaratsky stepping in. First pitch to Zaratsky is inside for a ball. Zaratsky's a 300 hitter. 301 on the year, 1 home run. Team leading 15 runs batted in. Batting out of the number 6 spot. Swings and misses, 1-1. He was 2 for 4 in the 3-2 victory yesterday. Pitch misses outside, 2-1. Inside, Zaratsky gets out of the way. 3-1. First batter. And Sam has fallen behind here in this game. He's set down the first 5 batters he's faced. See if he can get back into this count. It's 3-1. Line drive. Diving stop in and out of the glove of McGuire, and reaching first will be Zaratsky. So ball just kept curving away from John over there at second base, and he was able to get the glove on it, but it popped in and out of the top of the glove as he made contact with the ground. That'll be the first base runner. First hit of the game here for Judson comes with 1 out in the second inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Josh Goliberzuk. Goliberzuk on the season, 245, 5 runs knocked in. So game 1, 7 innings. Game 2 will be 9 unless game 1 goes into extras. And there goes Zaratsky, throw down to second, and he is safe. Just beat the throw from Jake Murda. Good accurate throw by Jake, but Zaratsky beats that down to second. Stolen base number 9. He's a perfect 9 for 9 on the season. So a 2-out runner in scoring position here for Judson. 0-1 the count on Goliberzak. All right there, 0-2. Brian Hidalgo trying to keep Zaratsky as close to that bag as he can. Here comes the 0-2. Away, 1-2. Pileggi kicks and fires off speed pitch. Fools Goliberzak. Strikeout swinging. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Sam here through 2. We're through an inning and a half in Joliet. 0-0. Bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. St. Francis threatened in the 1st. Was able to get runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, but Luke Ketchum struck out. Brian Hidalgo popped out to the 2nd baseman. Bottom of the 2nd, Saints will send up Pappas, Meliska, and Lasota against Matthew Johnson. Gio Pappas leading off here in inning number 2. 207, 6 for 29 here so far this season. Does have 1 home run, 6 knocked in. First pitch is outside. Last year, Gio, 329 average, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. So that average down a bit this season, getting the start out in right field here in game number 1. Lofts this pitch down the right field line. Over forward goes Babcock. He's in the corner, slides, and makes the catch in foul territory out in right field. Nice play by Jordan Babcock out there. Was able to get out underneath the ball and made a sliding catch going towards that right field wall. So 1 away here. Foul, fly ball into foul right field. Caught by Babcock. First out here in the 2nd. Nate Meliska now steps in. Nate at 286. Couple of runs knocked in. The lefty swinging at the first pitch. No batting gloves for Nate. Nate, the freshman. 5'9", 195. Count is 1-1. Grounds it to the left side. Scooped on the short hop by Davila. 2 away. Nice play by Giovanni Davila down there at 2nd. On the short hop at 3rd. That'll bring up Jake Lasota, today's designated hitter. If Lasota reaches Jake Murda, will get a chance to hit. Lasota 203. 9 runs knocked in this season. Was 1 for 2 with an RBI in yesterday's 3-2 loss. First pitch to Jake misses well away. Ground ball up off the mound. McLennan has it, fires over to first, and Lasota is retired. So the Saints go quietly here in the second. We're through 2. No score. Top of inning number 3. No score here through 2. Game 1 of a doubleheader between Judson and the St. Francis Fighting Saints. And the Eagles will send up 8-9-1 against Sam Pileggi, who through 2 innings has allowed 1 hit, hasn't walked anybody, struck out 3. And he will face Mitchell Stempowski here leading off the the top of inning number 3. Stempowski, the designated hitter in game 1, 8 for 59 on the season. That's a 136 batting average. Has 8 runs knocked in. Does a good job getting on base, though. 136 batting average, but looking at a 350 on base percentage. So he's able to get on base via walk, even if he's not able to pick up those base hits. Leads off here in the third. Pitch outside by Pileggi, 2-1. After Stempowski, it'll be Adam McLennan, and then back up to the top of the order in Benjamin Nelson. 2-1 from Pileggi. Popped up on the infield. Back for it is Merida behind home plate. And it's in and out of his glove. So Stempowski will have new life here, albeit with a 2-2 count. Merida didn't squeeze it with that second hand, and it just squirted out of that catcher's mitt. 2-2, the count on Stempowski. Sam with 29 pitches through 2 innings. Here comes the 2-2. And there is strikeout number 4 for Pileggi. All 4 of the swinging variety. Struck out Nelson and Davila leading off the first inning. Struck out Goliberzuk to end the second. Strikes out Stempowski here to start off the third. And now he'll face the number 9 hitter, the shortstop Adam McLennan. McLennan's the team's leading hitter. 306 on the year. Leads the team in home runs as well with 2. So best hitter sitting in the number 9 hole, Adam McLennan. First pitch swinging, pops it up on the infield. John McGuire calls for it, shields his eyes. He makes the catch. 1 pitch, 2 outs here in the third inning. And that'll bring up Benjamin Nelson, who struck out looking. It's 8 out of 9 retired by Sam here in the early going. 2 outs in the top of the third. Nelson was 0 for 4 yesterday with an RBI and a run scored in the 3-2 Judson victory. Pileggi looking to get through 3 scoreless here. See if his offense can get something going for him in the bottom of the inning. Pitch down. Absolutely gorgeous day here in Joliet. Temperature sits at 62 degrees right now. Not a single cloud in the sky. Wind blowing out to left and left center field. Pitch swung on, hit out to center. Luke Ketchum a couple steps back and to his left. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. That is 3 scoreless innings for Sam Pileggi. We head to the bottom of the third. Judson nothing, Saints nothing. Bottom of the third, scoreless here at Dooley Health and Care Field. Home of the St. Francis Saints, home of the Joliet Slammers, and it's the bottom of the third. No score, and St. Francis will send up 9-1-2 against Matthew Johnson. That's Jake Murda, Hector Carrillo, and Jake Vera. Murda 2 for 22 here in the early going. Swings at the first pitch, laces it to the right. Jake, a freshman, 6 foot, 186 pounds, out of St. Lawrence High School in Chicago. Batting ninth today, looking to pick up his 3rd hit of his freshman campaign. Takes the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball. Johnston through 2. He's walked 1, struck out 1, hasn't allowed a hit. Line drive down the right field line, twisting foul. 6 to 8 feet wide of that first base bag. Jake down in the count here, 1-2 now. Another pitch hit down the right field line, twisting over towards the wall, and almost making another great catch down there in right field is Jordan Babcock, but he just ran out of room, and that ball landed on the opposite side of the fence. Reached his glove out and just not able to squeeze it. Made a great play down the right field line on Gio Pappas leading off the 2nd inning. Sliding catch on the warning track out there in foul territory. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, 2-2. And that hit him. The inside pitch hits Jake. I mentioned that Johnston has hit quite a few batters so far this season in his 9 appearances. That's now his 8th hit by pitch in 29 innings of work. So the leadoff man on here in the 3rd inning, Hector Carrillo, will step up. Hector drew a leadoff walk and was thrown out on a fielder's choice. Looks down to third base to get the signal. Giovanni Davila already in on the infield grass, assuming a bunt. We'll see what St. Francis puts on here. Throw over to first. Murda's taken about a 12-inch lead off the first base bag there. So not a threat to go, but trying to keep him close for this potential bunt attempt. Carrillo does square to bunt, drops it perfectly down that first base line. That is a picture-perfect bunt by Hector Carrillo, and finally makes Goliberzuk makes the first baseman, Ellinger, flip it over to Goliberzuk to retire him, and moves Merida down to second on the 3-4 sack bunt. And that was a perfect bunt by Hector, right down that first base line, forcing the first baseman to come in and play it. That got Merida down to second. Now Jake Vera comes up Runner at second with one out and a huge hole on the right side of the diamond if Jake can turn on one, as the second baseman, Galiberzak, is playing close to that second base bag, while Timothy Ellinger playing kind of standard first base over there. So a big hole between first and second for Jake. Swings at the inside pitch, 1-1. Jake reached on fielder's choice, stole second, was stranded at third back in the first inning. St. Francis stranded 2 runners in scoring position in that first inning. Vera at third, McGuire at second. Luke Ketchum struck out. Brian Hidalgo popped out to end that threat. Vera drops a bunt down, fouls it off. I think that got a piece of Alex Spang. The umpire will take his time getting the ball back to the pitcher, Johnston. He'll probably clean off the plate. I'm going to sit there and talk to Jake for a second, make sure that Spang is good to go. It looks like he is. Jake down in the count now, 1-2. Jake has struck out a team-leading 26 times this season. Going to get that ball over to the right side and get Merida over to third base. Foul tipped into the mitt, held on to by Spang, and Vera is the second strikeout victim of the afternoon for Matthew Johnston. And that'll bring up John McGuire now. John reached on an error by the second baseman, Galiberzak, in the first inning. So another 2-out opportunity with a runner in scoring position here for the Saints. Let's see if they can pick up Merida at second after not coming through in that first. First pitch to McGuire. Off-speed pitch, swings and misses. Center fielder Adam Zaratsky playing really, really shallow out there. Pitch inside. He's literally, I would say, about halfway between second base and that center field wall. He is way in. The outfield is swung also way over towards right field. So if McGuire can turn on one, he can run for weeks. On the outer edge, 1-2. The left fielder, Benjamin Nelson, is playing in left center field. The center fielder's playing in right center field. And the right fielder, Jordan Babcock's playing pretty much right down the line. 1-2 on McGuire. Johnston kicks and fires upstairs. That wind is blowing briskly now out towards left center field. John does have a home run this year, go along with 5 doubles and a triple. Right now, we'll settle for a single. Blooped to right. Get down. Nope. Catch is going to be made by Galiberzak out there in shallow right field, and that retires the side. So St. Francis strands another runner in scoring position. That's 3 through 2 innings. We're through 3, still scoreless. We've got a pitcher's duel here through 3 innings. No score. Judson and St. Francis. Sam Pileggi has allowed 1 hit Hasn't walked anybody. Struck out 4 for the Saints on the other side. Matthew Johnston hasn't allowed a hit. Has walked 1, struck out a couple, hit a batter. No score through 3 innings. Only 1 hit between the two teams. Giovanni Davila will lead off. He struck out swinging in the second inning. That pitch is a strike, 0-1. It'll be Davila, Ellinger, and Spang here in the fourth if anybody reaches Jordan Babcock against Sam Pileggi. Waves at the outside pitch, 0-2. Sam came into action today with an ERA just under 5, 4.88 on the season. He's pitched just under 4 innings a start, 27 2/3 in 7 starts. So he's right at that, kind of right at that limit where, kind of right where he normally comes out of games, but he's been really, really good here through 3+, 1-2 on Davila. Foul tipped, held on to by Jake Merida. That's strikeout number 5 for Sam. Second time he's gotten Davila. That'll bring up Timothy Ellinger, the first baseman, grounded out to short to end the first inning. Only 1 base runner for Judson here through 3 innings. That was the 2-out single by Adam Zaratsky. Other than that, 5 strikeouts, no walks. First pitch to Ellinger is a fastball right there, belt high, 0-1. Fastball misses away, 1-1. Sam's at 44 pitches here in the fourth inning. He's been efficient with his 5 strikeouts. Popped up foul to the left, out of play, 1-2. Over onto the left field concourse is a free souvenir over there if somebody wants to give chase. Ball will come to rest on the berm down the left field line. 1-2 now on Ellinger. Pileggi kicks and fires. Blooped into left field. Vera a couple steps over to his left, playing shallow and able to catch the low blooping line drive for the second out here in the fourth. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. That's 6 in a row now retired by Pileggi after the single to Zaratsky back in the second. Spang flew out to right, leading off the second inning. A righty catcher with the very open stance. Blue bat. Pitch above the eyes, 1-0. We're in the fourth, no score. 1-0 pitch fouled straight back, right on top of us. 1-1. In the bottom of the fourth, St. Francis will send Luke Ketchum, Brian Hidalgo, and Gio Pappas to bat as they look to break the proverbial ice here. The 1-1 pitch popped up just behind second base. McGuire is there, squeezes it for the out. And another 1-2-3 inning for Sam Pileggi. He's at 51 pitches through 4. We're through 3.5. Neither team with a run yet. 0-0. Bottom of the fourth inning, St. Francis still looking for their first hit of the game. They've had a couple of base runners, all ended up in scoring position, none of which were able to come around to score in the first. They had Vera at third, McGuire at second with one out, not able to get the run home. And then last inning, Jake Merida at second with one out, and he wasn't able to be brought in either. Luke Ketchum swings at the first pitch, pops it up on the left side. McLennan shielding his eyes from the sun. One pitch, one out here in the fourth, as Luke Ketchum is now 0 for 2. That'll bring up Brian Hidalgo. Johnston's been as good as Luke Ketchum has been. Matthew Johnson has been every bit as good for Judson. That's 3 1/3 now for him. He hasn't allowed a hit. He's walked one, he's struck out two, and he's hit a batter. So he's allowed 2 base runners, 3 base runners technically if you include the E4. Sam Pileggi has allowed 1. Neither team has scored. And Hidalgo takes the first pitch for a ball outside. 1-0. Brian popped out to second, ending the first. Bloops this one over the first baseman's head, but foul. 1-1. A lot of late swings here in the first few innings by St. Francis. A lot of balls down that first base and right field line. One and one. Johnson kicks and fires. Grounded to the right side. Ellinger has it. Steps on the bag. 2 outs in the fourth. That's 10 of the last 11 Saints sent down by Matthew Johnston. Gio Pappas now. 2 outs, nobody on in the fourth. Pappas hit a long fly ball down the right field line, and Jordan Babcock made a sliding play in foul territory to retire Pappas back in the second. There's not a lot of room down in that right field corner once you get to the right of that foul line, and he was able to slide, make the catch for that first out of the fourth, or of the second, rather. Pitch misses away to Gio, 2-0. Pappas reaches Nate Maliska, get a chance to hit. Gio didn't play in yesterday's game. He's making his 16th appearance of the season, his 8th start. Popped foul down the right field line. That'll reach the seats. Clang around down there. Young man hustling down there is going to get himself a souvenir. Good for him. Pretty good crowd today. It's a gorgeous day here in Joliet, and all of the seats that are in the sun are filling up nice and quickly. 2-1 on Pappas. And did that get him? No, he ducked, and the ball was just missed by Spang, and it went straight to the backstop, 3-1. Again, the outfield shifted way over towards right field. As I mentioned, St. Francis with some late swings here on Johnston through 3 2/3. 3-1 to Pappas. Gio got a piece of it, I think, but swung and missed. Count goes full, swung over the top of it. Payoff pitch coming. Hit in the air out to right center field. In on it comes the right fielder Babcock. He makes the catch, and that's another 1-2-3 inning. That's 11 out of 12 now retired by Matthew Johnston. We go to the 5th. Still nothing. We're in the fifth. Still no score here at Dooley Health and Care Field between Judson and St. Francis. These two teams played to a 3-2 Judson walk-off victory yesterday in the bottom of the ninth. And Jordan Babcock will lead off here against Sam Pileggi. Sam has been really, really good, almost perfect. He's given up one hit through 4 innings. He has struck out 51 pitches in those 4 innings. Babcock hit a home run in yesterday's game. Pitch inside, 2-0. And I mentioned that Sam doesn't go deep into most games. Usually he sits right at about that 4-inning mark, 27 innings in 7 starts. So this is about that time where he either starts to fade or he gets pulled. So we'll see what happens here in the fifth as he gets that pitch called a strike. 2-1. Line drive hit out to center. Ketchum racing for it. Luke is there, 1 away. Very good center fielder Luke Ketchum racing to his right to make the catch on the low line drive that was slicing away from him due to that stiff breeze out to left. 1 away here in inning number 5. Adam Zaratsky now, the only Judson player to reach base today, had a single with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. First pitch swinging, popped up on the infield. John McGuire is there, makes the catch, 1 away. Quick out here in the 5th, 2 up, 2 down. And Josh Galiberzuk will step in. He struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning. It's 9 in a row now sent down by Pileggi, making his best start of the year here so far. Sam has been terrific. First pitch swinging by Galiberzuk, hit out to right field. Right there is Gio Pappas, and another really quick inning for Sam Pileggi as he gets through that inning on just 6 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still no score. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Joliet, and St. Francis still looking for their first hit. Neither team has scored. It's 0-0. Sam Pileggi, 5 shutout innings in what has been his best start of the year. He's gone 5 2 other times. Back on 315 against St. Xavier when 5 gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. He struck out 8 in that one. And then back on the 25th of February against Mountain Mercy, gave up 1 earned run in 5. So he is tied to his season high in innings pitched, but a 1-hit shutout here through 5 for Pileggi so far. That pitch just a bit outside, as the great Bob Euchre says. Back to the backstop, 2-0. This is Nate Maliska. Nate grounded to third back in the 2nd inning. He's up in the count, 2-0. Ground ball up the middle. McLennan has it behind the bag. Hard throw over to first. 1 away. Nicely done by the shortstop, McLennan, who had to range over behind the second base bag by the time he made that throw. Jake Lasota now grounded out to short to end the second inning. It's 12 out of 13 now, retired by Johnston, who came in with a 1-2 mark, an ERA of 3. First pitch to Jake is in there for a strike. Johnston came in with 34 strikeouts in 27 innings. Only has 2 Ks here through 4 1/3. Lazy fly ball to center. Zaratsky makes the catch for the second out here in the 5th inning of what is a rapidly moving baseball game, as we are exactly 1 hour into this game and we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's what happens when you have a combined 1 hit between the two teams in 9 2/3 innings of action so far. Jake Murda up now with 2 outs and nobody on. He was hit by a pitch his first time up, stranded, was sacrificed over to second and stranded there in the 3rd inning. St. Francis threatened in that 1st inning. They had runners at second and third with 1 out, and they were not able to get either run in, as Jake Vera at third, John McGuire at second, Luke Ketchum struck out, Brian Hidalgo popped out to the second baseman. That was the best chance for either team. 2-0 upstairs. St. Francis doesn't have a hit, but they've had 3 runners in scoring position here today. Judson has 1 hit and hasn't had a runner reach third yet. 3-0 the count on Murda. If he reaches, Hector Carrillo would get a chance to hit with 2 outs here in the inning. And he will. So Jake reaches for the 2nd time out of the number 9 spot. That's the 3rd walk of the game. Second walk of the game, rather, by Matthew Johnston. So 2 walks, 2 hits, or 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, no hits for Matthew Johnston, and he will face Hector Carrillo. Hector's 0 for 1, laid down a sacrifice bunt his last time up, walked, leading off the bottom of the 1st inning.
Your attention now, running over at first base for the Saints, number 1,
Max Montgomery comes in to run over at first base for Jake Murda. For Jake Murda. Now Hector Carrillo steps in. There goes Montgomery to second, and he beats the throw. So Max, first pitch going as the pinch runner gets himself down to second base. That's his 2nd stolen base of the season. So another runner in scoring position with 2 outs here for St. Francis. This is their 4th runner in scoring position in their 5th inning, and they haven't been able to get any of them in. We'll see if Hector can come up with a clutch 2-out hit here to get St. Francis on the board. Hector 1-1 the count on him. 3rd baseman. Line drive up the middle, gets down in front of Zaratsky. Here comes Montgomery, the throw to the plate. He is safe. And the first hit of the game leads to the first run of the game for St. Francis. Hector Carrillo with the clutch 2-out RBI single, and the Saints take a 1-0 lead. That's exactly what St. Francis needed here. They have been looking for that big hit. They pick it up, their first hit of the game. Hector Carrillo, a sharp line drive to center. That's his 10th RBI of the season, and the Saints are up 1-0. Meeting on the mound now. Long meeting on the mound here. To wonder if this might be a health thing, given that the umpire is out there and they're all sort of just checking in on him. It looks like he's good to go. So 2 outs. Runner at first is Hector Carrillo. Jake Vera at the dish. See if St. Francis continues to try to put the pressure on here. They do have 3 stolen bases so far here this afternoon. They had 2 in the 1st, 1 here in the 5th. first. Carrillo's back in safely. There is right-handed action loosening down in the Judson bullpen. Nobody down in the St. Francis pen as Sam Pileggi has been dominant through 5. Throwing back in again. Carrillo back in safely. Now, Hector not taking a huge lead over there, but paying a lot of attention to him down at first base. Johnson was able to get Meliska and Lasota to start this inning with relative ease, but then he walked Jake Merida. The pinch runner, Max Montgomery, would steal second on the first pitch, and then Hector Carrillo would drive in Montgomery with a line drive base hit to center field. And the outfield really swung over and super, super shallow here on Jake Farah. I don't think I've seen a left and center fielder playing quite this shallow in a long, long time. The left fielder's only about, 30 or 40 feet behind the outfield grass, and that hits Jake. Second hit by pitch of the game, and St. Francis with a couple of base runners here in the 5th inning. John McGuire now. John 0 for 2, reached on an error in the first, popped up to second to end the 3rd. Let's see if John can pick up a 2-out clutch base hit. Bit of a pause here before McGuire digs in. John came in hitting over 300 on the season with 16 runs batted in. Looking to pick up number 17 right here if he can get another base hit. Line drive foul into the net, 0-1. Runner at second is Hector Carrillo. Runner at first is Jake Vera. 2 outs here in the 5th. St. Francis finally breaks the ice with a single run on their first hit of the game here in inning number 5. The 0-1 now to McGuire. Ground ball to the right side. Goliberzuk has it. Scoops, fires, and just beats McGuire by a step. But St. Francis does finally break the ice. They pick up a run. We're through 5. The Saints are up 1-0. We're back for the 6th inning, and Sam Pileggi for the first time pitching with a lead as his offense gave him a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. An RBI single by Hector Carrillo, driving in the pinch runner Max Montgomery. Here in the 6th, Pileggi will face Stempowski, McLennan, and then Benjamin Nelson back up at the top of the order. As Pileggi has been outstanding. He has retired the last 10 Judson batters he's faced. Fields his position cleanly, makes the throw over to first, make it 11 straight, as that's another first pitch swinging out. Stempowski's now 0 for 2, and Sam Pileggi's 5 1/3 innings into this game, and he has thrown 58 pitches. Talk about an efficient outing by your starting pitcher, especially on a double-header day. I have to put a lot of strain on that bullpen. There is nobody down in the St. Francis bullpen. Adam McLennan now, second baseman, popped up to second in the 3rd. One away here, top of the 6th. Pitches upstairs to McLennan. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for St. Francis. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Judson. McLennan is Judson's leading hitter. Came in batting just over 300 with a couple of home runs. Swings at the 1-0 pitch, fouls it straight back and out of the ballpark. Hear it bouncing on the tin roof. 1-1 now. The 1-1 pitch to McLennan. It's right there for a strike. Pileggi does have 5 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody. And again, just been incredibly efficient with his pitches today, getting Judson to swing at a lot of pitches early in the count. 1-2 now to McLennan. Pileggi kicks, fires. In the dirt, 2-2. Adam McLennan 1 for 4 with a double in yesterday's 3-2 victory. The 2-2 now. Inside, McLennan's able to skip out of the way. Count goes full. I think this is the first full count Sam Pileggi has had here in this baseball game. This is his longest outing of the year at this point at 5 1/3 innings. 3-2 pitch is in the dirt, and that is the first walk of the game issued by Sam Pileggi. So the tying run, Adam McLennan down at first base, and that'll bring up Benjamin Nelson, who's 0 for 2. You have to think that McLennan's probably going to try to steal second here, as Judson wants to desperately get that runner into scoring position. He's 4 for 6 in stolen bases on the season. Nelson struck out to get this thing started back in inning number 1, and then he flew out to center to end the third. First pitch is down for a ball. 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. It'll be Nelson, followed by Giovanni Davila. And then if anybody reaches, Timothy Ellinger. We're in the 6th. It's 1-0. St. Francis with the lead. 1-1. Just away. 2-1. You're starting to see maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in here from Sam as he's fallen behind the last 2 batters he's faced, McLennan and now Nelson. Throw over to first, McLennan in safely. Again, this is the longest outing of the year for Sam. He's gone 5 a couple of times this season. He's at 5 1/3 right now. Allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and he struck out 5. And it's 3-1. Infield at double play depth. 3-1 pitch, laced foul, 3-2 now. So after not having a full count through 5 1/3 innings, he's gone full on the last 2 batters, McLennan and now Benjamin Nelson. Pileggi looks in, checks the runner at first, gets his sign, comes set. Here comes the payoff pitch. Grounded hard but foul down the first baseline. Skips up off the St. Francis mound and into the grassy area down the right field line here at Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet. We'll do it again. Another 3-2 pitch from Pileggi. Misses well away. And Sam has walked the last 2 batters he's faced. Didn't walk anybody through the first 5. Has 2 walks here in the 6th inning. And we'll have a mound visit here. Still no action down there in the Saints bullpen. One nothing top 6. CCAC conference matchup. Saints are 5-7 in conference play this year. Judson's 4-9. St. Francis looking for their 5th home victory of the season. Giovanni Davila stepping in. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Came in at a 225 on the season. Average down a bit after his 0 for 2 today. Sam can still get out of this with a ground ball at either Hidalgo or McGuire. Turn 2 to get out of this. Middle infield is at double play depth. The first pitch to Davila is upstairs and away. Sam's starting to miss those pitches up and away here in the 6th inning. That pitch at the belt for a strike, 1-1. Adam McLennan bouncing around down there at second base, trying to distract Pileggi. Hit high in the air, deep to right field. Back on it goes Pappas. He's in front of the track, and he makes the catch. That ball stayed in the park because of that wind. That wind blowing towards left field. Davila put a swing on it, and that wind knocked that ball down. If there was no wind or that was blown out to right, that's a 3-run home run. But because of the wind today, it's an out. So we're 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Runners at the corners for Timothy Ellinger. Ellinger's 0 for 2. Runner at third's Adam McLennan. Runner at first, Benjamin Nelson. Ellinger was 1 for 4 yesterday. First pitch to him. Ooh, not sure where that one missed. Maybe upstairs a little bit. Not entirely sure. It looked like a strike. Called the ball. 1-0. Up and away, 2-0. If Ellinger reaches, Alex Spang would get a chance to hit here in the 6th. It's the first base runner to reach third base for Judson here. Comes in the 6th inning. 2-0 now to Ellinger. 3-0. And again, missing up and away with a lot of his pitches here in the 6th. He's now up to 74 pitches. Still not a huge number for the 6th inning, but he was at 58 when the inning started. The 3-0. Again, misses up and away, and he's walked the bases loaded. The third walk of the game, the third walk here in the 6th inning. And I think that's going to do it for Sam. I think it's going to be John McGuire coming in from second base to take the ball. That is going to do it for Pileggi here in the 6th inning. And it will go to John McGuire. McGuire will come in from second base to pitch. And moving to second base, we will tell you here in just a second. I believe it's Josh Kernbauer. I believe that's number 12. So Sam went 5 2/3 innings. He allowed just 1 hit. He walked 3 all in this inning, and he struck out 5. And the new pitcher is the former second baseman, John McGuire. John's making his 11th appearance of the season. He's 1-5 with an ERA of 4.75 on the season. He's pitched 36 innings. He's allowed 47 hits. Doesn't walk anybody. Only 7 walks in 36 innings. Struck out 24. Opponents are batting .305 against the 6'1", 202-pound junior out of New Lenox. So just a terrific outing by Sam Pileggi. And now John McGuire will have to wriggle out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam here in the 6th. And he will face Alex Spang with the bases loaded. It will be Adam McLennan at third, Benjamin Nelson at second, Timothy Ellinger over at first as John McGuire makes the rest of his warm-up pitches. No, in at second. Excuse me, that's not number 12. That's number 13. That's Alex Milcars checking in at second base now.
For the Saints, number 11, John McGuire. Now playing second base, number 13, Alex Milcard.
Alex Milcars
And now batting, the catcher,
in
number
at
50,
second
Alex
now.
Spang.
John McGuire over at first. Alex Spang 0 for 2. He flew out to right in the second, popped out to second in the fourth. First pitch swinging, hit in the air to medium depth center field. And Luke Ketchum is there to retire the side. So McGuire is able to get Sam out of trouble. Sam Pileggi, 5 2/3 of one hit shutout baseball. We go to the bottom of the sixth. The St. Francis is looking for some insurance. They're up 1-0. Bottom of inning number 6. Good old-fashioned pitcher's duel here today in Joliet as we are in the 6th, and it is 1-0. St. Francis with the lead. Matthew Johnson out there for his 6th inning of work. He's allowed 1 run on 1 hit. He's walked a couple, struck out a couple, hit a couple batters, and he's out there for inning number 6. He's thrown 67 pitches through his first 5. He will face Luke Ketchum, Brian Hidalgo, and Gio Pappas here in the 6th. Luke 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first, popped up in the 4th. The 1-1 is there for a strike. So a couple good starting pitching performances by St. Francis here in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, Mac Malcheski, 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 3. Today, Sam Pileggi, 5 2/3 of 1 hit shutout baseball. And Luke strikes out swinging for a second time today. 3rd strikeout of the game. Brian Hidalgo. Now Brian 0 for 2. Pop out and a ground out. So 2 good starting performances in a row here by St. Francis. And it's really been their pitching this year that's been their bugaboo. They've got a team ERA of close to 7, so a couple of good outings in a row. Get some of that confidence built up and see how the rest of the season carries on. But yesterday, Mac Malcheski was really good. Sam Pileggi even better today. Pitch upstairs to Hidalgo, 1-1. Brian fouls it at the plate. Brian, a sophomore out of Addison, has hits in 2 straight games. It was 2 for 4 yesterday. Prior to that, 1 for his last 19 prior to the last 2 games. That was that one at the plate. So he's 3 for his last 8 coming into today, but then 1 for his previous 19. So hot and cold hitter, as he had 10 hits in the 5 games previous to that cold streak. So he is a streaky hitter. So hopefully Brian's getting into one of those hot streaks here. 3 for his last 8, but 0 for 2 today. Count is full with 1 out here in the 6th. St. Francis looking for a little bit of an insurance run. And it hits him. It's the 3rd hit batter of the game by Johnston. I mentioned that in the pregame that he had hit 7 batters coming in to action here today. That's 3 hit by pitches in this one. Gio Pappas now. Gio's flown out to right twice. Pappas will go to the, or excuse me, Hidalgo will go to the bench, and Max Montgomery will come in and pinch run again. We'll see if they employ the same strategy they did last time, which is have him take off on the first pitch. See if they can get him into scoring position with 1 out. He stole a base last inning when he pinch ran for Jake Murda. And he came in to score on the single by Carrillo. So Montgomery down at first now after the 3rd hit by pitch of the game by Matthew Johnson. He's only walked 2, but he's hit 3 batters. So may as well be a walk. First pitch is in there to Gio for a strike. Nate Maliska in the on-deck circle. And if anybody else reaches the designated hitter spot would come up. Right now that's Jake Lasota. Throw over to first and almost had Max leaning, but he was able to get back in safely. And they got him leaning this time, and he is out down there at second base. He is picked off on the 1-3. He almost got him last time. This time he took that jab step to second, and Johnston had him dead to rights. 2 outs here in the 6th. So now no balls, 1 strike on Pappas. Nobody on here in the 6th inning. The 0-1 to Gio upstairs. Away. Gio Pappas out in right field today. Has flown out to right field twice. Count goes to 3-1. Pappas walks. That pickoff play looms even larger now, as St. Francis could have had 2 on with 1 out. See what Gio does with this 3-1 pitch. Umpire called it strike 3. That was only strike 2, though, so he gave his strike 3 call. Patting himself on the chest, saying, "My bad." The count is full here on Pappas. Payoff pitch to Gio. Fouled back right off the windows to my right. Gio staying alive here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. St. Francis up 1-0. And I say that hit Gio's bat, and then hit the knob of the bat. A foul ball. Pitch was well inside. Gio not able to get all the way out of the way, though. So another payoff pitch here to Gio Pappas. Smoke to left. Gio's going to run for a while. There's nobody over there. Hits first, and he could crawl into second base. Gio Pappas with the hardest hit ball of the game. A screaming double to left field. And St. Francis has another runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And I think that would have been a double either way, but that goes to show what happens when you play your outfield, as Judson does, swung way over to the left or right, depending on who's batting. Pappas hit that ball, and there wasn't a Judson player within 150 feet of that baseball when it hit the ground. So Nate Maliska now comes up with with a runner at second and 2 outs. Mound visit. We'll see if this is going to be it for Matthew Johnston or what they're going to do here with Maliska. Hardest hit ball of the day by St. Francis, that 2-out double by Gio Pappas. Last inning, Judson. Giovanni Davila hit a ball to right field that, if not for the wind, would have been a 3-run homer. It ended up as an F9 in the scorebook. Nate looking for a 2-out single here. Try to bring in Gio Pappas. Has 2 RBIs on the season. Nate, 11 for his first 60, or 18 for his first 65 here in his freshman season. Big hole over there on the right side. Now back is Galiberzuk. First pitch is away. Another pitch away to Nate, 2-0. Alex Milkar's in the on-deck circle. Another pitch away, 3-0. And we saw this with Sam Pileggi last inning, where as he started to fatigue, those pitches started going up and away to left-handed hitting batters. They're sending him down to first base. Oh, they just intentionally walked Nate once they got to that 3-strike count. So that goes in the books as a walk, the third walk of the game for Matthew Johnston. Alex Milkar is now stepping in. Alex came in at second base when John McGuire came in to pitch. Alex, 226 on the season, 1 home run, 10 knocked in. First pitch swinging down the third base line, swinging bunt, and Alex will have himself an infield single here, as couldn't have rolled that ball down the third base line any better. So the bases are full of Saints here in the 6th inning, and Jake Murda will get a chance to drive him in. Jake's reached base twice. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, was stranded at 2nd. He walked in the 5th and scored the only run of the game. So bases loaded, bottom of the 6th, the 3rd hit of the game for St. Francis. Alex Milkars with a swinging bunt down that third base line. First pitch inside. 1-0 to Murda. Jake looking to reach base for a 3rd time here this afternoon. Pitch upstairs, 2-0. So he's ahead in the count. The base is loaded. No place to put him. Gio Pappas at 3rd. Nate Maliska at 2nd. Alex Milkar's over at 1st. Two-0. Right there. It's a strike. 2-1. Two-one pitch. Down the first base line. It eats up the first baseman, Ellinger. Is he going to have a play? He's not. Murda reaches first base on the infield single, driving in Gio Pappas from 3rd. And there's that insurance run for St. Francis as Jake Murda has reached base 3 times here this afternoon. It's 2-0. A tough play. That squibber down the first baseline, and it ate up Timothy Ellinger. He was able to corral it down there, but the pitcher, Matthew Johnston, didn't cover first base, and Jake Merida ends up with a single. He's been on base 3 times here now. Base is still loaded. Hector Carrillo now. Hector had the first RBI of the game last time up. He drove home Merida. Still no place to put him. Base is still full. Everybody moved up 90 feet. First pitch swinging, foul to the right, out of play. Ethan Fleming. Fleming over at first base now. Pitches away, 1-1. Carrillo's been on base a couple of times. 2-1. If he reaches, Jake Vera gets another opportunity. So in these late innings, the St. Francis offense able to knock in those 2-out runs that they weren't able to drive in early in the game. They get a run in the 5th, run here in the 6th. They're up 2-0. The 2-1. Laced hard, but foul down the right field line, out of play. In the dirt, 3-2. So Ethan Fleming is pinch running for Jake Merida at first right now. Payoff pitch. Hit in the air to center. In on it comes Zaratsky. Back on it goes the second baseman, Goliberzuk, and Goliberzuk is able to make the catch. But another run scored by St. Francis here in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. The Saints are up 2-0. Top of the 7th inning, last hacks here for Judson in game number 1. They'll come against John McGuire. It'll be Jordan Babcock, Adam Zaratsky, and Josh Goliberzuk here in the 7th. McGuire was able to get Alex Spang to fly out on the first pitch with that he threw with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. And he's quickly ahead of Babcock here, 0-2. John looking to pick up his 2nd save of the year if he can lock this one down. The 0-2, up and away. It's 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for St. Francis. No runs, just 1 hit and 1 error for Judson. Sam Pileggi was fantastic Through 5 2/3 innings, gave up just the one hit, didn't give up any runs. He walked 3, all of them in that 6th inning as he was starting to tire. He struck out 5. The count is now 2-2 on Babcock, who's over 2 with a couple of flyouts. Pops this one up to shallow center field. There is Ketchum, and Luke squeezes it with one hand for the first out here in the 7th. So Babcock 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts. That'll bring up Zaratsky now. He has the only hit of the game here for Judson. That was a single back in the 2nd inning. He popped out to second in the 5th. They can lock this down. That'll be Sam's first victory of the season. First pitch on the outer edge for a strike. Sam was 0-1 in 7 starts. Again, hadn't been going particularly deep into the game, but 5 2/3 here in a 7-inning game. That'll work. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hidalgo, no play. So Zaratsky will pick up his 2nd hit of the game. Ground ball in the hole. Nothing Brian could do about that other than eat that one. So a 1-out single here in the 7th. And Josh Liberzuk will step in. Liberzuk is 0 for 2. He struck out. He might be having a pinch hitter here as looks like the manager is talking to the home plate umpire. It looks like we will. Appears it's going to be number 31, Jake Angelo, pinch hitting. With 1 on and 1 out here in the 7th. Angelo, a big kid, 273 on the year, a couple of home runs, 8 RBIs. 6'4", 260-pound righty out of Yorkville. First pitch is a ball. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Angelo tied for the team lead in home runs with 2 in only 22 at-bats. Swings and misses there, 1-2. He does strike out, though. He's 6 for 22 on the season. As those 2 home runs, has struck out 9 times in 22 at-bats. So strikes out in nearly half of his plate appearances. 1-2 now. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and that is the first strikeout of the game for McGuire. And as I said, Angelo will strike out. That's now 10 strikeouts in 23 plate appearances. And with 2 outs here in the 7th, Mitchell Stempowski will be Judson's final shot here against the combination of Sam Pileggi and John McGuire. First pitch in there for a strike. Stempowski came in 8 for 59 on the season, 0 for 2 here in this one. Now 8 for 61 here in the 2023 season. Hitting the air out to left. In on it comes Vera. He is there. He makes the catch. That retires the side, and St. Francis wins Game 1 of this doubleheader by the final score of 2-0. Just absolutely fantastic pitching here by St. Francis in Game 1. Sam Pileggi went 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, no runs. He walked 3, he struck out 5, wins his first game of the year. John McGuire pitched the final inning in a third, scoreless, striking out 1, picking up his 2nd save of the season on the other side. Matthew Johnston went the distance, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He walked 3, he struck out 3, and he falls to 1-3 on the season. So we're going to take a short break, and we will be back with Game 2. Full 9 innings of game, full 9-inning game, and Game 2 of this doubleheader right on the other side. So once again, your final score here in Game 1, St. Francis Saints 2, Judson Eagles nothing. We'll talk to you in a little bit.